Please, your life is very important. Your life has value. You are not worthless. There is hope. Only if you allow it. There is hope. There is hope. You may be facing failure. You may be facing setback. You may be facing depression. Whatsoever you are facing right now, please understand that there is hope. Hi, welcome to another episode of the Better With You Alive Suicide podcast. I am Chaplain Aigbefo Ehihi. Today, this episode is focused on the 3 essentials of suicide prevention. There are 3 things that we need to have at the back of our mind when we're dealing with suicide prevention. The Department of Health is strongly committed to preventing suicide within our military community through suicide awareness, suicide prevention, intervention, and postvention initiatives. And the 3 essential things that we're going to be discussing today are: 1, suicide is a public health issue. And 2, suicide is preventable. 3, everyone has a role in preventing suicide. When we promote healing, we minimize the risk for survivors, and this is essential to our communities. Suicide is a public health issue. Suicide is a public health issue that cuts across all Americans, across all communities, across every walks of life, including the military. Its causes are complex and it involves a number of factors, which are biological, psychological, environmental, and social influences. A key goal of suicide prevention is to reduce the risk factors while it increases resilience and wellness. Suicide is a public health issue. It's something that affects all ages, all races, all religion. It doesn't know one who is tough or not. Everyone can be suicidal. It's a public health issue. I was reading an article some time ago, and there were children in Japan who committed suicide. We've had kids in the United States who commit suicide. We've had kids in Africa who commit suicide. You can see that suicide is not something that just pertains to a particular country or a particular people or a particular color or a particular race. No, it cuts across every aspect of life. It's something that is affecting the whole communities, even the military community, even the veterans. Suicide is a public health issue. And before I go on, I will say, if you're listening to me right now, or you have someone that is in crisis, please understand that there are immediate resources that is available to prevent that suicide. We want to help you. We want to support you in saving life. And we want to save your life also. The military crisis line connects those who are in need to train counselors across the United States of America with a single phone call or a click of a mouse. This confidential immediate help is available 24/7 at no cost to any active duty, any reserve soldier, or any guard soldier, maybe even their families and friends. We want you to contact the military crisis line at 1-800-273-8255. For military, you can press 1. I repeat, 1-800-273-8255. And for military, you can press 1. Or maybe you don't want to call or you just want to text. You can also text 838-255. 838-255. We want you to contact this helpline or text this number so that you can get help as soon as possible. Another thing to know is that suicide is preventable. Yes, suicide is preventable. Although it's a public health issue, although it cuts across all Americans, but it is very preventable. Suicide is preventable. The Department of Defense embraces the public health approach to suicide prevention. This evidence-based approach shows that providing support services like talking about suicide like I'm doing right now, reducing access to means of self-harm, and following up with loved ones are just some critical actions we can all take to prevent suicide. Suicide is preventable. Suicide is never the only hope. Suicide is never the only way out. It's not the only exit. It's not the only solution. In fact, it's not even a solution. Suicide is not the only way out to a problem. That is why I will stop again and encourage you. If you're feeling alone, please tap into the strength of a family member, a fellow soldier, maybe an NCO, maybe a commander, maybe just a friend, maybe someone. Tap into the strength of those people in the military community. Please, it is very important that you tap into their strength. Why? Because people are the military's greatest assets. Each individual, including you, including me, we are all part of something bigger than ourselves. We are protected and we are understood. We have leaders that understand us. So please, tap into the strength of your unit. Tap into the strength of your teammate. Tap into the strength of people in your church, in organization. Please, we want you alive. We want our friends alive. Our brothers and sisters, we are better with them alive. We don't want anyone gone. There are plenty of resources around us that can help us navigate through that situation. Please, suicide is preventable. Let's join hands to prevent suicide. Let's join hands to deal with this suicide. You can always turn to the military one source. They are available 24/7 and they are free. They have free counseling, they have free resources that can help us through challenges and daily stress before they become crisis or emergency. The Army has plenty of resources. Some of them you may not even know, but until you start asking, that is when you start finding out that, oh, there are even these resources around me and I'm not even aware of it. One thing I want you to understand is that everyone in the military community has a responsibility to look after one another. And if a service member or a family member, if you start noticing that they are distancing themselves from the community or from any social gathering, or begins to show any warning signs of suicide like hopelessness or increasing alcohol or drug use as a coping mechanism, please don't hesitate. Call the military crisis line or the suicide prevention Lifeline. And the number once again is 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. The third thing I want to mention is everyone has a role in preventing suicide. You have a role. I have a role. Your commander have a role. Everyone around you, everyone in the team, we all have a role in preventing suicide. Starting the conversation, providing support, and directing help to those who need it. You and I, we can prevent suicide. We can save life. We can project hope. We can promote hope to everyone in our community. We all have a role. We all have a role in preventing suicide. We all have a role in saving life. Why? Because we are better with each other alive. We don't want anyone dead. We don't want to spend time mourning someone or taking care of our losses. We want to stay alive for each other. Sometimes, just talking to someone is a critical first step towards wellness and resilience. When you say, how are you? Please make sure you mean it. Because saving life always begins with just that conversation, with that ice-breaking question. Please understand that the critical first step towards wellness and resilience is just talking to someone sometimes. Encourage your fellow service member, your teammate, your family member, and those who you lead, or those who even lead you, to ask for help before the issue becomes crisis. Encourage them to ask for help before their performance starts deteriorating. Encourage them to ask for help before it starts getting to the point where you will start losing hope. Encourage people to ask for help. Are you a leader? Are you a commander? Are you a first sergeant? Are you an NCO? Are you even a private? What are you? A father? A mother? In one way or the other, you are leading. Encourage people around you to seek for help. Always encourage people to ask for help. We don't want to wait until that issue becomes an emergency or a crisis. I cannot emphasize enough that resources from the DoD can guide us to support those who may be struggling among us. Military One Source can help service members and family address family daily stressors and get support for building critical relationships. Please, let's look for these resources. I don't know where you are right now listening to me. I don't know what base where you are. But if you are in Fort Benning, we have a lot of resources in Fort Benning. We have the chaplains. You have the behavioral health. We have a lot of clinicians. We have a lot of people that can help you through suicide. Your commander is there. Your NCO. We have well-trained. We have the military family counselor, the MFLAC, that is embedded in every brigade to help you through all those daily stressors. Everyone has a role in preventing suicide. Remember, suicide is a public health issue. Suicide is preventable, and you have a role. We all have a role. We all have our own role in preventing suicide. Don't be a bystander. Don't just stand one side and say this doesn't concern me because I'm not the one thinking about suicide, or I'm not the one suicidal. Don't just be the one to tell people to suck it up or to get over it. Don't be that leader. Be the leader that saves life. Be the soldier that saves life. If we all join our hand and provide help to each other and show each other love and show each other that we care about one another, we together we will prevent suicide. Together we will beat suicide. Let's join hands in combating suicide, because that is how we show to each other that we are people first. And what about those that has faced loss, that has faced the death of someone that took his or our own life? We have to promote healing so that we can minimize the risk of survivors. Many survivors experience a range of emotions, including blame, guilt, anger, and a lot more. They may face mental health challenges from these experiences. It is important to know that support is available to help in the process of rebuilding after loss. I remember when I heard that one of my NCO took his own life. I was dealt with the issue of guilt for a long time. Because even though I was not an NCO then, he shared part of his problem with me, but I didn't know what to do with it. When I heard of his death, it was so painful. Just like some of us, I felt like, or I wish I could turn back the hands of time and just reach out and try to save him. But it was already too late. Then I vowed that I would never let anyone or such thing just happen under my watch. I will do everything to prevent suicide. If I cannot talk to you, or if I don't know you, I will pray for you. That is another thing we can do to prevent suicide, is to pray for one another. If you are a person of faith, you can help prevent suicide by praying for your bodies, by praying for your family members, by praying. And I believe as you pray for that person, it will help our spiritual resilience. It will help the person in a way that even you cannot physically help the person. Suicide is a public issue. Suicide is preventable. Everyone has a role in preventing suicide. Let's join hands and prevent suicide. There's an adage that says, prevention is better than cure. That is why we are better with you alive when we can still help. Let's prevent it when it is still possible. Let's prevent it when we can. When the person has already taken his life, it's already too late. While the soldier or the family member or the person is still alive with us, let's do everything. Let's join hands to help. Let's raise awareness. Let's talk about suicide. Let's make sure that we are playing our own part when it comes to preventing suicide. Why? Because life is good, but better with you alive. I want you to understand that life is good with me, but it's just better with you alive. We want everybody alive. We can all join hands to prevent suicide. Let's start playing our roles in combating suicide. Let me stop for a minute. Are you listening to me right now and you're thinking about suicide? Or you have someone that is thinking about suicide, that is suicidal? No matter what you are experiencing, no matter where you are right now, I want you to understand that there is help, that there are a lot of support to help you get your life back on track. There is help for you. Don't just sit back and believe that there is no help. There is someone waiting to talk to you right now. Please get this 24/7 support right now. Call 1-800-273-8255. Yes, stop this video and call 1-800-273-8255. If you are a military member, please press 1. Please, your life is very important. Your life has value. You are not worthless. There is hope. Only if you allow it. There is hope. There is hope. You may be facing failure. You may be facing setback. You may be facing depression. Whatsoever you are facing right now, please understand that there is hope. Let people around you, let them help. Let them try their own best. There is hope. You are not useless. You are not worthless. You are valuable. You are unique in your own way, but you are valuable. If you're thinking of suicide, stop this video and call 1-800-273-8255. Press 1 for military members. There is someone waiting for you right now, 24/7, just to talk to you so that they can help you. We encourage you to contact the Better With You Alive at any time. If you would like immediate help, especially if you or your family member is not in this area, in Fort Benning area, you can always talk to someone by calling that number, 1-800-273-8255. Through this toll-free number, they offer a network of crisis centers across the country. These centers staff their lines with professionals, with clinicians who are trained to listen and offer support to people in emotional crisis. Please, if you're thinking about it, stop the video. Make that call right now. This may be the call that will save your life. Remember, life is good, but better with you alive. And If you are in immediate crisis that need an urgent attention, please dial 911. That is one of the best route to go. Dial 911. Let law enforcement get involved. Law enforcement have access to more resources that you and I can ever think or imagine. You are in immediate crisis, dial 911. Remember, life is good, but better with you alive. Please subscribe to our podcast so that you can be the first to listen or see our episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this video. Share this video to your unit, to your soldiers. Make sure soldiers are getting these videos so that they can educate themselves and get themselves ready for whenever situations may hit them. Life is good, but better with you alive. I say it again. Life is good, but better with you alive. Thank you for listening to me once again. I am Chaplain Igbe for Ehihi. God bless you, and remain blessed and inspired.